And this is your heads up. Your heads up to a podcast all about being uncomfortable and enjoying being uncomfortable, which is, it doesn't happen, does it? Does it happen? Well, but it doesn't happen, but you can use that feeling of being uncomfortable as an easy way to springboard your success. So have a listen, I think, because I think you'll find it interesting. I'll go through a little example about how I had to go through a series of uncomfortable changes physically but they also affected me emotionally and mentally and all that stuff. And how now I really enjoy doing the things that I felt uncomfortable with, but also how we can use this in your own personal development, because I know that you want to be the best you can, and I'm here to support that. So halfway through, we start then talking about how we can make this easy. Because I even thought to myself, if it was easy, how would I do it? So I'm going to come up with ways that we can make things easy by using uncomfortableness as a trigger point. And then there'll be a hypnosis track to use it as well. Double whammy. So you'll have more tools in your little old toolbox, as they say, that just keeps expanding so you can use them over and over again to really get what you want, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Getting what you want. Now, this has been quite a long little heads up. So if you're new to this, please have a listen to the next bit of the introduction. It's all about this wonderful niche of personal development that we're creating between us. So have a listen to that. And if you're not new to this and you're just know exactly what's going to happen, skedaddle, as we say. 1.5 minutes, roughly. And I'll begin. All right then. Either way, I'm going to speak to you in a moment. Hey, my name's Paul Clough, and I'm part of, this little niche I'm creating, I hope. The niche of unplugged personal development. You see, nothing will change in your life if you don't change first. That's the rules. And in this genre of personal development, self-change, self-development, of becoming that better you, things have just been made far too complicated. Anyway, that's what I believe. I don't know why, but I've got an idea that it just makes the people who make it more complicated, make them feel better. It doesn't help us. And that's what I want to do. I want you to get your dreams, to know that whatever happened in the past was the past, and we can change our life, change who we are, back to who we really are. It's a bit like dehypnotizing, taking away all the things that don't work and find better ways. And that's why I've created this podcast, to break down these overcomplicated ways and produce and develop some really powerful but yet simple ways that will allow you to shine your light, to be who you really want to be. That's a bit way out there, but I just want you to be who you really want to be, because that's who you started off to be. And using things like hypnosis, NLP, so many more things, and for one reason only. So you can, if you choose, to come along for this adventure, to become that real you. Sing, as I say, with your real voice. Shine, be there. Turn up being you, the real you, without any trying, and break through those personal barriers. And as I said before, we're not going to fix the stuff that didn't work, because the very reason it didn't work is because it doesn't work. But we're going to find better ways. Not painful ways. There is no pain, no gain. That's tosh. We want to find pleasurable ways, passionate ways. Everything you can do to realize the opportunities to create your dreams and actualize them. Learn the skills that make it happen. All down to not creating that old you, but to find that real you. So that's why we're here. If you're up for that adventure, listen on.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Okay then, guys. Today, this podcast is all about being uncomfortable and knowing that things are in the right place when they're uncomfortable. But uncomfortable and not scary. What does that mean? What does that mean? Well, we talked about, reducing pain and increasing pleasure in one of the last FMQs. And this is a little bit like that. It's how things change when you decide to have them change. And the reason you'll listen to this, I guess, is because you want to develop yourselves into your destiny, I guess, to find your vision, your passion, to fulfill your missions. The reason you're on this world, this earth, is to produce something and to produce something awesome, which you can. Now, the other thing is, I never like to say anything is hard, but sometimes it doesn't seem easy. Because if things were so easy, they get really, really boring. You know what's going to happen. You know the outcome. It's all going to get there. But we want to make things as easy as possible while being as exciting as possible, even the uncomfortableness. Now, this isn't exactly how I wanted to start, but a little while ago, I had a physical scare, a health scare, which meant that I had to change a lot of the things I was doing. I had to go to the gym. I decided also I needed to go to yoga. Yoga because it was my way of certainly getting physically more flexible, but also there's a meditation for my mind as well, to be focused, because I knew I was going to have to be focused as well. But I also had to think of diet, and I also had to think of the blooming old thing of reducing a bit of alcohol. So all of that is a massive change, and it's quite a scary change too. But the thing about it was, each one of those was uncomfortable, because let's take the first one. Going to the gym. You had to find a gym. I had to find the right type of exercises, and I had to blooming go, and I had to go regularly, and I had to find the things that suited me, because before I'd done running and I'd got injured just running up and down the seafront, and that wasn't much fun, because then I couldn't do any exercise. So I had to find the right way for me, and the right way for me to stay interested as well. So that was uncomfortable, because it wasn't something I was used to. But then there was yoga. Now, I used to do yoga an awful lot when I was younger, but this was new, and I had to go to a class, and I didn't know anybody there. I'd recommended the instructor, the teacher, but I went to that class, and guess what? I was told, yeah, there's another guy comes in sometimes too, but everyone else was female. So, it's a little bit uncomfortable. But hey, had to be done. Then I had to think about eating different things. So not to make it a diet, but just to eat in a different way, which again becomes uncomfortable. So all these changes were uncomfortable. But now, this is a period of time has gone by now, and I've started to really get into this gym work. I love it. I love trying to find different things to do. I get to the point where I'm changing. Sometimes I go every day. It's never less than every other day. And every other day is a different type of workout. Something that stimulates me, something that feels good. Sometimes it's really tiring. Sometimes it hurts a little bit, but doesn't hurt in a bad way. But every time I come away from it, I think, yeah, that was uncomfortable, but now I'm really feeling the benefit. And I look forward to that. The yoga now, I really enjoy going to the yoga classes. And I also do those stretches. I do them at the gym. And I don't mind doing a little namaste to myself in the gym in front of everybody. Who cares? Because it's something I like doing. And it just feels like I'm honoring myself when I do it, which is a weird thing to do, I think. But I enjoy it. It makes me feel good. It spurs me on. Now, what this story is, it's not that scare thing, but it's learning to be uncomfortable and then noticing that you can look forward to being uncomfortable. But the whole point is and was Each one of those was scary to me to start off with, until I found out there was nothing to be scared of at all. It was just something different. And I want to change like that metaphor, or use it as a metaphor, to think about your change work. What do you want? Because sometimes we can have an issue that needs some work doing, or we want to change the way we are. And if we want to change the way we are, we've first of all got to accept that we haven't achieved what we'd like to have. Maybe you can sometimes see that as a failure. I don't. I think it's a massive success, just being able to understand that we haven't got there yet. Big Y-E-T, yet. But now you can see it in your mind's eye. You're taking an honest look at where you are right now and where you want to go. But that's scary. But sometimes also there might be some emotional stuff in that. Or maybe, certainly there might be some emotional stuff that's stopping you getting there. But also if you've got some issues that you need to clear away first. There are behaviours, emotions that need to be worked upon. Now, some people think, well, that's going to be scary. Here's the rub. It's not scary. And I don't want you to be, kicked up the bum, pushed forward by fear. Sometimes it can get us to move, but it doesn't sustain. It doesn't sustain our movement. Emotion. We want motion and emotion, but a positive emotion. And how do we get that then? Well, I think, any type of personal development, even though it's uncomfortable, if you know it's going to be uncomfortable for a little bit, then you know you're on the right path. It's a little bit like I say to some of our practitioners on our NLP practitioner trainings. It's like, you're going to be uncomfortable and you are going to be confused. But it just means you're on the right path. When you're confused, it means you've got all the information, but it's a bit jiggledy-piggledy in your brain. And it's going to, when it starts to get together in the right order, then you're going to leap ahead of your expectations. And even when you then leap ahead, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable because you're going to push yourself even further. And you're pushing yourself through boundaries that are a little bit self-imposed, but you're pushing yourself to be even better. And that's like pushing yourself into the unknown. But if you know that the unknown is something to be dreamed of, and if you do dream of it and you imagine it, you're going to get there. So a bit of uncomfortableness, if that's a word, has got to be worth it, isn't it? But here's the thing. I like to make things easy. So if we know things are going to be uncomfortable, hey, why can't we mitigate that? Why can't we change that? So I think we can. So we can use that as a trigger point to change the way we think, we behave, and the emotions then which are attached to that, which will then change our physicality, the way we move our body, which will change the way we think, which will change the way that we our pictures in our mind, which will change the emotion, our state, which will change the way we move our body. And it's just a wonderful circle that just gets bigger and better. That's what acting as if does. You use your physical body to act as if, and that changes your state because you start believing that you're acting as if is real. And that makes the pictures in your mind. What pictures would you make in your mind if you acted as if? Acted as if you've got it already. So, here's the thing. The thing that's going to take you out of this uncomfortableness is really understanding your why. Why do you want to change? And not in the negative. I want to let go of this feeling. I don't like being sad. I don't like being depressed. I don't like being fearful. I don't like being anxious. No. What do you want? I want to be calm. I want to be confident. I want to achieve these goals. I want to use them to progress in my career. I want to be happy. That's a good reason because I want this and it's going to make me feel X and Y. And when you know the why, you can then even start to look at it. How does it, match to your passions? And if you get your passions to match with your why, you're going to start moving through uncomfortableness because you're going to enjoy it. because you know this is going to be passionate. Maybe those passions start to become your missions in life, which are all joined and supported in their quest for your ultimate vision. And even sometimes just sitting down with Jenny Journal and writing down what you think your ultimate vision is can allow this to start to formulate within your mind, get those neural pathways, those synaptic gaps snapping away, joining to make new ways, to allow new opportunities. So if we do that, and we have maybe a belief, we've talked about beliefs before, what would this be like if it was easy? There's always a way, it's, I can do whatever it takes because I will succeed. I will get there. I'll never fail if I don't give up. By finding those beliefs, you're able to set that state, because now with the positive beliefs and that value, because now you know why it's important. It means the emotions that you start to choose to use are real. They're aligned with your end purpose. So that uncomfortableness that started right at the beginning now becomes your passion. It's like a signal. It's a signal to you to say, this is the right path. Because once you just get over this tiny, tiny little hurdle, anything is achievable. Because then you start to notice that every negative emotion, and then positive emotion, but if we've got to talk about issues, every negative emotion and negative behavior has a positive intention. Sometimes there's a slight conflict, though, between the behavior, the emotion, and the intention. And once we start to understand that, we can change the way we behave. We can change the way that we feel. The emotions that we feel will then support new behaviors because our beliefs and values are in the right place. You remember that triangle of logical levels of personality. When we have values and beliefs about ourselves at an identity level, all our skills and capabilities of learning and the behaviors we do just happen. You can fire them off. You can access them all. And then the environment that you choose to do them in is yours. So what I'm going to do is, knowing that things are uncomfortable, I'd like you to get your Jenny Journal out and think of what you really want and notice that uncomfortableness. And maybe you just want to ask, what's the message in this uncomfortableness? What are you trying to do for me by being uncomfortable? And there may be something about protection, something about not wanting maybe to get hurt. But then when you ask, when you understand that intention, you say, well, how could it be different and maintain this intention? What would be the best beliefs, behaviors to have and maintain this intention and let go of this uncomfortableness, this negative emotion? And then things become clearer and you can start taking action. You can start writing down in your Jenny Journal, if it was easy, what would I do? So we're actually using now this feeling of being uncomfortable, knowing that it's now no longer scary. We're using it as a trigger point to guide us in the direction that we want to go. Now to me, that's really interesting. You've got it all. You're getting the signals. At the moment, we just don't understand them. But when you sit down and ask with your Jenny Journal out and your pen, just write down, let the pen just write, because you will find the answer. You will find the answer. So what I want you to do is, when you do this, I'm going to do a little hypnosis track for you, which is how we just find that feeling of uncomfortableness and explore it. Explore it with your unconscious mind so you can begin to find the true nature of the direction you're going, but also what is your unconscious mind trying to teach you so you can use it. Now, to do that, this isn't intellectual. You really, you can know all about this, but if you don't take action, so you have to make a pact with your unconscious mind. When I understand this, I'm going to take action to really succeed in finding my true vocation, as it were. And that can be as broad and diverse as anything you could imagine. It could be being the best mum, the best dad, the best partner in the world. It could be the best husband, the best wife. It could be the best ex. You fill in the blank. Because all these things will become apparent to you if you look inside and listen. But to listen, first of all, we have to look inside by asking the right questions. So I'll do a hypnosis track for you. It should be available the day after you listen to this, and we'll move ahead that way. So look forward. I mean, the whole message of this now is let's use the feelings that we find negative, uncomfortable, use them to move forward and find better ways to feel and get what our unconscious mind is telling us. Because really, when you think about it, the worse it gets is just because we're not listening hard enough, or we're just failing to listen in the first place. And when we listen to ourselves, because you've got all the answers, you really have got all the answers you'll ever need. And you've also got the skills to find all the other answers that's going to spur you through, that's going to find you those new opportunities, that's going to find serendipity, it's going to find those coincidences and that luck that just seems to fall in your place. And it all starts with feeling uncomfortable. So if you look at your goals, your outcomes, obviously we need to know what you want. And then maybe just notice that feeling that you get having not achieved it yet. And when you notice that feeling, that's the feeling of being uncomfortable. And we're going to use it. And then you can use that as a springboard to success. There you go. I hope that made sense. I hope it did. I did ramble a bit. I had an idea where I was going. And I want really the best for you. I want you to achieve your dreams, your goals. And know that now, even if you haven't achieved those goals yet, it's only because you didn't have the information that you needed back then. And now you can find it. You can access it. And then you can access all the other skills and capabilities that you need to really have these goals come into fruition quicker and bigger and brighter than you ever thought possible. All you have to do is imagine. Imagine with childlike curiosity, as it were, that anything is possible. Because remember, you don't know enough to know that it's impossible. So it must be possible, yeah? So look inside with little old Jenny journal. Have more fun than you can stand. And please, I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear from you if this made sense. If it didn't make sense, obviously, I'd love to hear from you as well. But also, I'd love to hear of the effect that this little process has had upon you and the effect of the hypnosis, your learnings, as it were. What did you learn? What did you decide to do differently? And what were your successes? And what are you looking forward to do now? I'd love to hear about your goals and your dreams, because when I know about those, maybe I can talk to you or develop a process that will help you and support you in, getting those dreams and goals, because then we're sharing, and this integrated field of learning is growing, and the knowledge in this field, as we share it and share it, will just grow, and we'll start to create this environment, this safe environment to learn and just go for gold, go for your dreams, and be, as we say, be the change you want to see in yourself, but be the change you want to see in others. But be that shining example of what's possible, not what's impossible, because that's just a figment of people's doubts, if that's the right thing to say. I don't know how you can have a figment of a doubt, but anyway, it's just other people's doubts and naysayers, because they haven't got those beliefs that you have. They're not aware that they haven't got that knowledge, that things aren't impossible, because you don't know enough. If that's knowledge, it's a weird part of knowledge, isn't it? Not knowing enough. And it's all out there for you. So enjoy your dreams. Look forward to hearing from you. Just email me, paul@paulclough.co.uk. And on the outro, I talk about sharing sharing this podcast and sharing the information in it. But I would love you to do that. I know time is valuable, but if you haven't shared it with people, I ask if you would. If you enjoyed, this one, or if you enjoyed a particular podcast, who could you share it with? Because it just might make a difference to them. It's like that story I told a long time ago about the old guy who is walking down the beach, and on that beach there's loads and loads of starfish. And as he walks along, he bends down, picks one up and puts it back into the sea. And then the next one, and then the next one. And there's a guy running past him doing his health training and shouts out, "I don't know what you're doing that for, old man. You'll never make a difference. You never make a difference. Look at it. You'll never make a difference." And he runs on. And the old man looks at him, smiles, because he doesn't know enough to know it's impossible. Bends down and picks up another starfish, puts it back into the surf and says, "Well, that one made a difference to you." And then the next one, and that one made a difference to you. And that's what this sharing will do. You don't know how far the ripples of change will go, because they just go on ad infinitum, indefinitely, forever, and affect everybody. So enjoy every heartbeat and live with so much passion and enjoyment and love, and just look on the world through those eyes of love, and you'll see wonderful things. So that's me, Paul Clough, getting a little bit soppy now, but I'll speak to you again real soon. And just hang on to that outro in a minute. Maybe a little bit of information that you might just take on board. Okay. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for listening. And just before you go on to do whatever you're going to do now, I'd just like to ask just a couple of things, really. One is, obviously, I've talked about sharing. And if you could share this podcast to a few people, pay it forward, that would be absolutely awesome. But also, if you go to places like iTunes, subscribe, because subscriptions mean that we go into the charts. It means we spread our word to other people. And also a review would be absolutely even more awesome. And also know that obviously hypnosis tracks, they're all at paulcloughonline.com/podcast. They're all there for you. They're all downloadable. So you can put them on any device you like. You can keep them forever with my compliments. And you can make up some wonderful things for yourself. Add processes together and have a great time. And also, if you'd also have a look round at paulcloughonline.com, it's the only thing other than my pocket that supports this show. We don't have advertisers. We don't do interviews and things like that trying to get around. So if you'd have a look on there, there's a couple of good, I believe, are really good courses. There's Supreme Inner Confidence, something to allow you to be who you really are. Be authentic. Know that you've got inner strength. You've got all the competence and confidence that you ever want. And there's also Free Your Life from Anxiety. That has 5 days. The first 5 days are absolutely free. You get an email every day with new things to do. And at the end of those 5 days, you may even have let go of that anxiety. That's my aim. And if not, you move on to the next part of the program. They're all there. There's a couple of other paid hypnosis tracks where we've done a series of processes for you, such as creating that inner mind palace and things like that, or real deep relaxation. But anyway, please have a look. It would be great if you did. Love some feedback. You can always contact me through my website, Paul Clough Online. No, it's not. It's paulclough.co.uk. And you can contact me through that webpage. And you can also contact me on email, paul@paulclough.co.uk. Love your feedback. Love your questions. Love you. Okay. Have more fun than you can stand.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.